Welcome back. So I think it's no surprise by now, but I'm a bit of a fan of just Japanese media. Japanese wrestling is the main thing that I try to look for when I look for things to watch that is specifically from Japan, but that doesn't mean that I don't try to find other things. For instance, I've always been a fan of anime, back from when I was a kid. But as far as recently, I've been trying to find stuff like TV shows and movies. So while I was trying to find something to watch on Tubi, because I like sifting through trash like a dirty raccoon, I stumbled upon this Japanese film called ICHI the Killer. And believe me when I tell you, I most certainly was not prepared for what I was about to watch. Quick note before we jump into this movie. Probably not the best thing to watch. If you're not aware, this movie has a lot of violence and depicts a lot of very gross and violent things in it. So if you might be triggered by anything on this list here, it's probably best to just skip this video, because I'll try to cut it down on how much I bring it up, but there's a lot of it in this movie. So at this point, if you continue to watch this, it's at your own will. Okay? I've warned you. But yeah. This one's certainly a interesting one. The movie starts by introducing us to a group of fine, upstanding gentlemen who call themselves the Yakuza, who are supposed to be protecting their boss. But, we then cut to a scene of a pimp beating a prostitute. He would then begin to R-word her. Quite an interesting first couple of minutes of the movie. We then see a man sneak onto the balcony and watches the whole thing happen. This is Ichi.
Excuse me while I enjoy the view.
As he's watching, he accidentally kicks a pot, which alerts the pimp. But as he looks for the cause of the noise, he doesn't find anything. And the only thing out there is ejaculate on a plant, which out of the ejaculate then spells out the name of the movie. We then cut back to the Yakuza as their boss, Anjo, is missing, along with 3 million of the gang's money. The gang believes Anjo skipped town with the money, but Kakihara Anjo's high-ranking enforcer doesn't think that the boss would do such a thing, and goes to find him. To start, they go to a nightclub and meet up with Anjo's girlfriend, a prostitute named Karen. While they're there, they meet an old man named Gigi, who tells them that the member of a rival gang, Suzuki, might be involved with the disappearance of Anjo. And after torturing Suzuki, it turns out he doesn't know anything. He's completely innocent. Kakihara is then reprimanded for his actions, but then continues on his search. Through a nice conversation with an old lady, oh my god, they find Kano, who tells them that he didn't have anything to do with Anjo's disappearance. All he did was clean up the mess afterwards, but that Ichi is responsible and is involved with the disappearance, and he's going to be coming after Kakihara next. Ichi then returns to the balcony from at the beginning of the movie to watch on what usually happens in that room before he comes in and stops the pimp by slicing him in half. And if you think that Ichi's the good guy here, you'll be quickly proven wrong. Ichi then tells Sailor that with her pimp not being there, that he'll beat her instead.
You gonna make me act up. You don't make me do something I'm gonna regret.
So, yeah, maybe this guy's not our hero. Sailor not being exactly pleased with that proposition, she grabs a bat and tries to defend herself from Ichi, who then slices her throat. Not exactly the best thing to do when you came there to help someone. Kakihara is then kicked out of the syndicate after the whole Suzuki incident, but the entirety of Anjo's group just joins Kakihara anyways, so I guess it was kind of pointless to kick him out when he still has all his people. But as it turns out, Suzuki is actually in cahoots with Gigi and promises him 1 million yen if he can take out Kakihara. Okay, so Gigi wants to pit all of the Yakuza groups up against each other to hopefully wipe them all out. Why does he want to do this? Don't fucking know. Ichi then sees a kid named Takeshi being bullied. Ichi then helps the kid by thrust kicking one of the bullies.
Bro, you just thrust kicked at that fucking kid, bro.
One of Kakihara's henchmen, Kaneko, sees Ichi being beaten outside of a brothel. Now, of course, at the time, he doesn't know it's Ichi. So Kaneko helps him and takes him out to eat, has a little chat with him, and tells Ichi how he reminds him of himself. As one time when Kaneko was in a spot of trouble being beaten outside of a store, that a member of Anjo's gang came and helped him, which is what led him to join Anjo's group. Gigi gives Ichi a new list of targets to take out. But at this point, Ichi's starting to not like the whole killing business and kind of doesn't want to do that anymore. So to get him to do the job, Gigi uses Karen to seduce Ichi into, I don't know, I guess playing into Ichi's fantasies about the trauma that he's had from before and all that, which somehow is going to get him motivated to killing again. I mean, it works, but also at the expense of Karen, who then also gets her fucking neck cut. But through this, Ichi is now motivated to take out these new targets. Why? I don't fucking know. But before Ichi goes out to kill Kakihara, one of Kakihara's henchmen finds Gigi and chases him down the apartment stairs. But when he eventually catches up to Gigi, he is disarmed. And I guess Gigi is fucking Master Roshi all of a sudden, because as he starts to remove his clothes, he then becomes a 6-foot fucking jacked behemoth built like a Greek god.
What the fuck? Oh my god.
And breaks literally all of the henchmen's bones. Is this brought up ever again? No, it's not. And you know what? That's perfectly fine, because if this scene is one of my favorite fucking things, because the effects that you've probably seen by now, the effects in the movie are definitely dated for a fucking movie that came out in 2001, but this scene is so fucking hilarious. I lost my goddamn shit in the middle of watching this movie. I couldn't take it serious. How could you?
Bruh. Oh, fuck.
Ichi then finds Kakihara after decapitating another one of his men, and Kakihara, obviously a bit shocked by this, then decides to run away, despite the fact that he's literally the past 10 minutes of the movie been trying to find Ichi. But sure, whatever. He runs away, and he runs up to the rooftop, and Kaneko begins to chase as well. But as he's chasing, he sees his son also at this apartment. I have no idea why. And so Kaneko obviously goes to his son, Takeshi. That's right. The kid that was bullied, that Ichi helped earlier, yeah, that's Kaneko's son. Takashi then says that the man that is running there is Ichi, which then dawns on Kaneko, as he then gets a better glimpse of him, that is the man he helped before. So he literally had Ichi in his hands. He could have stopped him way before this, but hey, you know, I guess when you don't ask a guy's name, you don't know it's the fucking guy you're looking for. Kaneko goes up to help Kakihara, but as Kaneko pulls out his gun,
hey, sorry, but I forgot to mention earlier that before Ichi actually goes out and, you know, starts killing Kakihara and his men, Gigi actually tells Ichi that Kaneko is his brother to further manipulate Ichi. Anyways, back to the fucking video.
Ichi then freezes and is stunned. He then asks why he would do such a thing. He's absolutely stunned that his brother would pull out a gun on him. And as he continues to move forward towards Kaneko, Kaneko then shoots him in the leg, and Ichi responds by slitting his fucking throat. But as he does this, none other than Takeshi shows up on the rooftop as He then watches his dad bleed out. Ichi is upset at the fact that not only did he kill the person that he thought was his brother, he killed the father in front of his own child. And so because of this, Ichi then begins to cry profusely on the ground. And as Kakihara wants to fight him, Ichi wants nothing to do with anything right now. He's absolutely distraught. He does not want to fight anything at all. And as Ichi is on the ground, Takeshi begins to fucking kick the shit out of him on the ground. I mean, kind of serves him right. I mean, Ichi's been kind of a piece of shit to a lot of people in this movie, and he just killed that kid's dad. So really, he kind of had this coming. But Kakihara is also upset. The guy who has been going around cutting up Yakuza members is refusing to fight Kakihara, refusing to kill Kakihara, who just wants to feel pain. So, for some reason, he then decides to take his skewers and stab them directly into his own ears, which then causes him to go deaf.
I don't like that.
When he opens his eyes, he sees Ichi holding Takeshi's decapitated head. Ichi then charges at Kakihara and stabs Kakihara in the forehead and kicks him off the roof of the apartment. And Kakihara falls to his death. Gigi comes and finds Kakihara's body, but notices that there's no scar on his forehead, which means that Ichi didn't kill him. He just jumped off the roof on his own. In fact, Ichi's still on the roof getting the shit kicked out of him. The movie ends with a scene of Gigi's lifeless body hanging from a tree. Why? How did it get there? What happened? Don't fucking know, and apparently the movie says don't fucking ask questions. We then zoom in on some teenage boy who resembles Takeshi. What does this mean? Don't know. And that's it. That's the movie. I didn't talk about everything. I left some things out, mainly because either it was just, nonsensical violence, or it was a little bit too graphic to keep talking about in this video. I mean, hey, if I could, I would, but YouTube don't like that shit. So yeah, didn't talk about everything. I left some things out and I kind of skimmed through some other things. But that's the movie. Okay? Now I don't know if all that made sense to you, because I was lost by the end of this movie, okay? And maybe I'm just really fucking stupid and you'd get it instantly if you watched the movie. But it's my video, so let me make my points, okay? First of all, I just want to say, this movie is not necessarily a bad movie. I wouldn't go and recommend it, but I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. I think it's actually pretty good in the sense of how stylistic it is. The way that they get around using certain things and everything like that. But just, there's a lot of good visual stuff in the movie. I mean, except for when you have stuff like that. So, I don't think that the movie is necessarily bad. I do think that a lot of the effects in the movie are pretty fucking bad. They're definitely early CGI, which does not look good. Yet again, it was also 2001, so I don't know what was really holding them back on being able to have good looking CGI, or at the very least, if you can't have good CGI, do what everything else does, and having good practical effects would have been so much better than having these shitty CGI effects. I mean, do I have to bring up Gigi and the fucking 7-foot Greek god his head was superimposed onto? Like, that looks awful. I mean, it's hilarious, but as far as taking this movie serious, there's no way you can take the movie serious after that. I mean, but yet again, if you get to that point in the movie, you're probably not taking it serious anyways. Which, on that note, why is it that so much shit that Gigi does just is not brought up ever again? The fact that Gigi has this ability, that Gigi is the size of a small old man, and then randomly he turns into a jacked fucking Greek god of a human being with the strength to just fucking destroy all the bones in a human being. Why does he need Ichi to do everything for him then? Why doesn't he just walk in and just kill him? Why can't he just go up to Kakihara and just break his fucking bones? What's stopping him from doing that? Also, again, I know I said it before, but what is Gigi's whole point to fucking doing any of this? He doesn't say why. It's never brought up why he does it. He's just like, oh, I don't like the Yakuza and I want them all dealt with. But why? We don't know why. Also, Kakihara's whole mission is to fucking find out what happened to Anjo. But as far as I know, maybe I'm stupid again, but he never finds out what happens to him. He just fucking dies. It's not like he knows that Anjo's dead. He's still fucking talking about how, oh, well, Ichi's coming after me. I'm going to stop him, and I'm going to get my questions about where Anjo is. But he fucking doesn't know. He never he basically just doesn't find that out. We never find out what happens. Well, I guess the audience knows, but the characters in the movie don't. But I will say I do like the whole Ichi being some fucking weirdo creep, because it's positioned as if, you know, because the movie's titled after him, it's positioned as if he's some sort of hero, like some good guy who stops the Yakuza and he's out here trying to be like the savior. He's really some fucked loser who didn't even, that just, you know, believes that something traumatizing happened to him, which it didn't. He's just being manipulated. And, you know, he just has some weird fucking fetish and does some fucked up things. He's a fucking loser. But I like that idea because he just profusely cries all the time. But then somehow also gets a boner. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. So a lot of stuff is just like not there. Jumping straight to the end of the movie, why is Gigi just dead? Why is he fucking... Why is he hanging from the tree branch? We're not known why. It's not like he feels sympathy for anything. We're not told if he felt bad for something that happened. When I watched the movie originally, I thought that Takashi did fucking get decapitated and that he felt bad for that for some reason, and that's why he killed himself. But after watching the ending again, no. Takashi's still alive, and I don't know why he's upset. Kakihara's dead. What's his fucking purpose for killing himself then? We don't know! Why? And I don't know if it was supposed to be sequel bait with the whole Takeshi thing or not, but I don't know. It didn't really make any sense. I mean, so there's a lot of stuff that's very messy with this movie and doesn't make a whole lot of fucking sense. But if you want to brag to people about, yo, I watched this fucked up movie, then I guess it's the movie for you. But if you wanted to show people a good movie, I definitely wouldn't recommend this movie, okay? It was alright. It wasn't bad by any means. It just, you know, didn't make a whole lot of sense. And just felt like they just did some violent things just so that way they could do violent things. I don't think it was anywhere near other violent movies where they are literally doing it just so that way they can have the claim of having the grossest shit in their movie. But I do think that they just came up with some gross shit. I know that this movie has been banned in a couple of other countries, and that's kind of what is popular about this movie, because, ooh, it's banned. But it's banned in countries that, like, of course this movie would be banned in, you know? I don't think that this claim of, ooh, this movie's banned really is that high of a thing, because I've seen way worse in movies. And anyone who's seen fucking movies like The Human Centipede and shit like that have seen way worse. Sure, it's not as abundant and creative with the amount of violence, but when it comes to gross fucking violence, there are other movies that do way worse. Now, of course, there's also a prequel to this movie that came out in 2003. Now, I wouldn't mention it because obviously it's not this movie. But I didn't watch it, but who knows, I might save it for a future video. And I can definitely tell you, even though it came out in 2003 and it's supposed to be a prequel to this movie talking about like Ichi's story specifically leading up to this, the quality, from what I see from screenshots and a little bit of glimpses from the video for the movie. The quality of the movie looks like a fucking Japanese porn video. And if you're wondering why I know what the quality of Japanese porn videos are, I think you should probably stop fucking asking questions, okay? It's none of your business, okay? But that's really about it. If you thought this was going to be some review, I'm sorry. It's not a review. I'm just talking about this movie that I fucking watched. It's a bit fucked up. It's a bit of a crazy movie. Would I recommend it? No. But if it's on your list of movies that you're already going to watch, I don't think that there's a problem with watching it. I mean, you'll probably find something enjoyable about it. I do think that there is some things that are pretty good in it, but overall, it's alright. You know, it's not that bad, not that good. If you want to watch it, go ahead, but I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, this is weird because I haven't really done a video like this before, so I don't really know how to end it. Sorry for being gone for so long, right? Things got busy. The project I was working on, the Joshi's Journey video I was working on, turns out it's a little bit more than what I thought it was going to be. So I thought I was going to get it done in a month, and it's taking a little bit longer than that. And it's going to continue to take longer because of the way that I'm working on it. But don't worry, I'm going to be coming out with other types of content. We're going to be, I mean, obviously the start of this one, but obviously it's starting with this one, but we're going to be moving slightly away from Joshi to make other types of videos, which I know is kind of a bad thing to do when you're a growing YouTube channel, but honestly, I wouldn't consider myself just a wrestling YouTube channel. I mean, if you go to the beginning of my YouTube channel, I've clearly made other types of videos. But yeah, hopefully you guys like this stuff and I can continue to make more. Well, I'm probably going to make more regardless. But hopefully you guys like this stuff and I won't have to worry about whether or not you guys will like it, because I'm probably going to continue to make this stuff anyways, just because I like making this stuff, or at least it seems interesting to me. But I hope you guys think it's interesting too. Maybe if you guys like the stuff that I've already made, maybe you guys have similar interests like me, even though I will admit some of my interests are like this movie and a bit fucked up. But yeah, see you in the next video, whatever that'll be. Peace.